I'm going to interpret a signed story. Hi, my name is Nina. This is story time, and the story is The Old Woman Who Was Afraid of Nothing. One day, there was a woman, and she was ready to go for a walk in the woods, to look for some nuts and strawberries and berries and different things. So she got her jacket on and her hat on, and she got her bag, and she was walking in the woods, and she was finding nuts and berries and strawberries, and she was putting them in her bag. When she had finished, she decided she was going to go home, and it was getting dark. As she was walking home, she heard something, and she looked and she saw shoes, big shoes. They were making a noise, and it sounded like, oh, a clop. So the shoes clopped, clop, 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 clop. The woman looked. There was no body, no legs, no hands or face. There was nothing. Just the shoes. Clop, 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 clop. The woman thought, I'm not afraid of that. And she kept walking. But behind her were the shoes that were following her. They were clop, 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 clop. No, I thought, oh, never mind. I'm not afraid. And she continued to walk. And she stopped. And she saw some pants. And they were moving. They wiggled. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. There was no body, no face, no arms, nothing. No legs, nothing. The woman looked at the pants and thought, I'm not afraid of you. And she kept walking. Behind her were the shoes, clop, 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 and the pants, wiggle, 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 wiggle. And the woman continued to walk until she stopped again, and she saw a shirt. The shirt shook and shook. And she looked at the shirt. There was no face, no arms, no body, nothing. And the woman looked, thought, I'm not afraid of that. Get behind me, and continued to walk. And behind her were the shoes, the clop, 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 and the pants, wiggle, 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 and the shirt shook and shook, all following her. The woman thought, And she continued to walk until she stopped and saw some gloves. There was no hands, no arms, not a face, body, nothing. And the hands were clapping. Clap, 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 clap. The woman looked, and she thought, okay. And the gloves, and the next to the gloves she saw there was a hat. It was a tall top hat. And it nodded. Nod, 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 nod. There was no face, no neck, no body, nothing. The woman looked. She was a little afraid. But she said, I'm not afraid of you. No, I'm not afraid of you either. But she started walking a little faster. Behind her, the shoes clop, 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 clop. The pants wiggle, 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 wiggle. The shirt shook and shook. The gloves clapped, clap, clap, clap. And the hat nod, 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 nod. All following the woman. The woman was walking a little faster. You know, she was heading for home. She was walking a little faster, and she stopped again. And she saw a big, round pumpkin. There were eyes and a nose and a mouth cut out. And it said, "Boo!" The woman jumped, startled. The pumpkin said, "Boo!" The woman was afraid. But she said, "I'm not afraid of you." And she started to run. She was running and running home. She was getting closer and closer. She could see the house, and she started running faster. Behind her, the shoes were clap, 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 clap. The pants wiggle, 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 wiggled. The shirt shook and shook and shook and shook. The gloves clap, 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 clapped. The hat nod, 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 nod. And the woman was running as fast as she could. She got to the house and she shut the door. Whew, she was safe. Her heart was beating quickly. Whew, what was that? She thought. I don't know. Oh. But she sat down by the warm fire, and she was warming up, and it was calm. And then she heard the knocking at the door. Knock, 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 knock. And the woman thought, who could that be? And she got up and she walked over to the door. She cracked it open a little bit. And she jumped. And what did she see? The shoes, clop, 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 clop. The pants, wiggle, 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 wiggle. The shirt shook and shook. The gloves clapped, clapped, clap, clapped. And the hat nod, 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 nod. And she said, what do you want? And the pumpkin, he said, boo. And we said, what? I'm not afraid of you. The pumpkin said, boo, boo. He said, I'm not afraid of you. The pumpkin said, oh, he felt sad. You're not afraid of me? No, I'm not afraid of you. Well, what am I supposed to do? The woman looked at the pumpkin. She goes, oh, I've got an idea. You're going to go outside and hang up outside. And the pumpkin thought, that's a good idea. And they hurried up, and the shoes and the pants, and they all hung up, and the shirt hung up on top of that. And the pumpkin sat up on the shirt, and the hat sat on the pumpkin, and the gloves hung outside the shirt sleeves. There's some blackbirds that were flying around, and whenever they saw it, they'd fly away. They were scared. And the pumpkin just hung there very happy. He would say, boo, boo, and he was very happy. The end. Have a good night, and see you next time.